Hello everyone, this is Berlin Biker, back again with a new video. As you may know, I am not currently on my MT07. What I am riding right now is a 2000, sorry I got a burp, wave to the girl riding a bike because that's awesome. What I'm currently riding is a 2018 Yamaha MT09, graciously given to me by Yamaha Zentrum Berlin, which is the Berlin Yamaha motorcycle shop that I bought my MT07 at last year. Well, this video, short and sweet, I just want to give my thoughts. As someone who's been riding a MT07 for the previous year and a half, the last 2 seasons basically, my first thoughts against the MT09. I think the MT07 is the perfect bike if you don't get out of the city to the MT09. I think the MT09 has a absolutely stunning engine, the exhaust sound, everything about this bike is wonderful, but it's a bigger bike. It is a bigger bike. It's a substantially bigger bike, and I feel the weight. I definitely feel the width. I feel the seat height difference. There's just a lot of things that would make me not really wanting to ride this bike in the city. The MT07 is a very narrow bike, and I feel like I've been able to easily navigate traffic and all of that. Well, the MT09 is just, it seems bulkier. And with this engine on the MT09, I feel like you don't get the opportunity to truly enjoy it in the city. I think obviously with speed limits, that's really frustrating. But in second gear, you're going too quick for a normal road, like way too quick. This 850cc engine in this MT09 is spectacular, and the power delivery is so smooth. You look down and you're like, oh shit, I'm going way too fast. Right, like there's no reason I should have just been able to go to 100 within a matter of seconds on this city street. But as I just took this bike out the last 2 days out into the woods around Northeast Berlin, I can tell you that this bike is a county road crusher. Ooh, CCC, county road crusher, or CRC. No, I don't know how to spell. There's real big difference. This bike is just made, oh, there's so much traffic, it's so fucking annoying. This bike is just made for those back roads. It really, really is. Anything less than, I would say, like 80 kilometers an hour on this bike is kind of boring and it feels slow and heavy and doesn't feel great. But the MT07 shines there. The MT09 definitely shines on these back roads. Besides that, MT07 versus MT09, originally why I chose MT07 and not MT09 is that insurance on the MT09 is substantially more expensive than the MT07. I pay roughly $100 a month for my MT07, and it was going to be like $220 a month for an MT09, right? So not only is it an extra $2,500 or so to get the motorcycle, then it's going to be an extra $1,200 or so a year just in insurance cost, and it was too much. Down to Mazatlan. What else can I say quickly about this? I feel like the seats are fairly similar. There's a lot of parts that are carried over between the two bikes. The levers, the grips, the mirrors, a lot of things that just came over, which is totally fine. Like, that's how Yamaha saves money. That's how all motorcycle brands save money on this kind of stuff. What I do like about the MT09 though over the MT07 is that it feels more upright, but an aggressive upright, if that makes sense. The rear sets on this bike, kind of position you a little more forward while still remaining upwards. While the MT09, I feel like the sets are basically directly underneath your knee downwards. So while you're sitting at the same height, or like same way up, you don't sit as aggressively. And I feel like this comparison makes a lot of sense. If you've ever ridden like a true downhill bike, like a Yeti, a Specialized, or like what big bike, you will feel a lot of similarities between the MT09 and that. These wide bars make this bike extremely flickable for such a large bike. For a while, when I first got it, I wasn't super comfortable with it. Made sure the tires were fully aired up, and bike just came alive, and just the confidence that this bike builds is just, it's there, it's instant. But I think, okay, this is going to be like what most of you guys I feel like are looking for. MT07 versus MT09. If you are a beginner, do not get the MT09. I repeat, do not get the MT09. I do not think that this is a good beginner bike. I don't think so at all. You know what? And I'm in that huge category of saying, if you are looking for a beginner bike, go sub 400 cc's. I would say this time and time again. Go smaller than bigger. Buy something, learn how to ride it, learn how to brake, learn how to drive. Do not buy an R6, do not buy an MT09, do not buy whatever bike out there that is on the cover of magazines, because you are not a good rider. No matter how good you think you are an awful rider. You are an awful rider. And I can say that because my first motorcycle was when I was 3.5, and I've been riding and racing motocross and enduro and hare scrambles for most of that time. And then I transitioned into the street when I was 26 years old, and I felt like I was learning all over again, right? The traction that I was used to on the road wasn't there. The traction that I was used to on the dirt wasn't on the road, and vice versa. You have to learn how to breed pavement types. You have to learn so much. There's just so much that you really need to understand about the road. So if you want a beginner bike and you won't listen to buy an MT03 or a KTM Duke 390 or something of that nature, buy the MT07. But if you buy the MT09, you're just an idiot. Please do not buy the MT09. That being said, as someone who's owned the MT07 for the last 2 years, am I interested in something like the MT09? The answer is yes. I think this is a very, very, very interesting bike. I am enjoying riding it a lot. My thought on that is, though, I would be very interested to see about the MT09 SP, which is this bike with nicer owned suspension. That is interesting. America, Alicia. It's better suspension, owns front and rear, and it just gives you a little more niceness. But would be an interesting bike. So okay, so this bike is like $9 grand. The MT09 SP is like 10 grand or 12 or 10, 12 or 10, 2 or something along that nature. It's starting to rain, which is annoying. I gotta get home. But what I would be very interested to see of MT07, if they made an MT07 SP, right? Just some nicer suspension components on the MT07, some of those gold sanctions on that nice suspension. Really make that bike kind of like the smaller version of the MT09 SP, where the power isn't the necessary thing that you want, but just a good, nimble bike. I do believe the MT07 is a much more nimbler bike, which, you know, kind of makes it easier for the city and all that, like we've already discussed. Oh, I'm at IKEA. I know where we're at. Yay. I wish IKEA was open on Sundays. IKEA is not open, and nothing's open on Sundays in Germany, but I would definitely stop in and get a hot dog, because I love hot dogs. Hot dog, hot dog, hot dog. I feel like all these people want to just like drive super slow today. Oh, this road. See, like that. There. See all those like the jumps and the shitty fucking road. You would have to know that. You would have to know how to position your body so you could easily go over that, or how to pop your front wheel up just to make sure you transition smoothly over them. And that's why I think don't get the MT09 if you're a new rider, because it's too big of a bike and too expensive and all of that stuff. What else can I tell you? I think the MT09, the traction control is very nice. I don't think you really need it on the MT07. I don't think it's putting out that much sporadic power. The modes are nice on this as well compared to the MT07. I think they are very usable. It would be nice if you could program them. I don't know if there's a custom. I haven't seen that. But I think that's it. If you guys have any other questions about the MT07 versus MT09, throw it in the link or throw it in the video comments below. I will make sure to give you a full answer, a few sentences on whatever your question is, as I feel like I have a pretty good grasp of the difference between the two. But yeah, MT07, it's a great bike. MT09, I think it's also a great bike. I think it just all depends on how good of a rider you truly are and what your riding style is and where you're gonna go with that bike. So that's my thoughts right now, guys. This is Berlin Biker. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. And that is it. Bye, guys.